Now we're here, and I want to see if I can toy with this idea of that chord progression. So we're experimenting. I'm scrolling a lot because I'm trying to find, haven't technically used harp yet. Doesn't really matter because harp isn't always part of orchestra anyway. But one of the things I did want to do is consider piano. So I'm curious if I can. I don't necessarily want to do that B flat then. Let's see if I can come up with something more bold. So I do think we hit the E flat, or the E minor. Yeah, so we can do the 1 4 flat 6 flat 7 1. I wonder if we can do something more interesting than that. So E minor, that's just a G. I don't love that. How can we spice this up? Maybe we really commit to like a true minor 5. So I kind of like that progression. It's not terrible. The only other thing I would maybe consider is if I did like something really spicy and did like a real substitution of. So that'd be an F major. Sort of substituting an A, so substituting for a 4, but it's actually a flat 2, a Neapolitan. Which again, I don't really love. So we could also straight up go into E major there instead of E minor. I don't love it. Let's go with that progression though. Let me pick a better piano sound here because I do actually want piano. That's not bad. Not bad. The rest are harp. Let's just go with this one. This is the Giant, but I don't know what version of the Giant this is. It's just the default. Okay. So let's see if we can get, I think we're going to do it on a 2-bar phrase. So if we're doing it on a 2-bar phrase, instead of actually writing anything, well, I'll let it play and I'll try it. But I think I'm going to end up step inputting again because I'm not the best pianist in the world. Yeah. Going into sort of like a pop progression thing, but let's see if we can like really make this interesting. So gonna hold the pedal down. I'm gonna make it. I could do 8th notes or I could do 16th notes. Let me just do 8th notes for now. So, didn't do it. So sometimes when you're step inputting, you got to be very careful about not holding the notes legato so that they don't read as on the same note. So that sounds super like really like MIDI, and there's a good reason for that. It's because the pedal is not reading. So I don't like this as 8th note, so I'm going to turn it into 16th note. So I'm time stretching it. This is like a time warp thing that you can do with MIDI in Cubase. So it's now, I've basically taken the space of 2 measures to 1 measure, and so now it's going to be 16th notes. Right, and let's get an actual sustain on there. Yeah, we're getting into like kind of almost Japanese writing area, which isn't the worst. And so then I'm actually going to double that because I want my progression to be double that. Then we're going to do the same thing here, but on this B minor chord. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it in as 16th notes. So I lost where I was. I don't love that. Is that possible? Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. So what if I take this instead, make this note down there? Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing here with the piano for the C major chord. C major is what we're going for here. So should I add a little 6 on top? I kind of want to. So that's ending on the E. What if I duplicate this, but now I move this entire thing up an octave so that that E goes down to that? So sounds like horrible MIDI when you don't have your sustain pedal going. Still very like thin, like the Japanese style writing. I don't love that. I'm gonna go more masculine here. So let's see, let's do the gotta count my notes better here. I definitely want the root fifth root thing. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. And then I'm just, again, going to go to the sustain, make sure it's playing. I'll just draw it in right there. And then we're going to take that. Theoretically, I could just take these things and like duplicate them and move them up a whole step, right? So let's just do that for that one because that one's pretty straightforward and it's still just like a major chord. Right, so let's hear this progression. Yeah, nope. I refuse to do this without a sustain pedal on there because it's going to sound so freaking cheesy if it's not there. So these two right here at 27 need a split on the sustain. So I need to hit this, but reset it, right? Right. I need to change my quantize to something like really itty bitty. So, yeah. Same deal across the board, right? Same deal across the board is they have to hit it at the beginning, and then when they get to the next chord, they have to get off of it very quickly, which is how a real pianist would play this. So hit it, get off of it, we're on a new chord. Hit it, get off of it, we're on a new chord. And then hit it, get off of it, we're on a new chord. Yep, perfect. Okay, now let's actually use the orchestra here, or anything hybrid we want, but definitely big percussion and stuff now. So we've got this E minor, B minor, C major, D major progression. So let's have the strings go majestic. If you'll notice, I tend to write with strings first for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but let's, maybe because they're the core of the orchestra, but let's have the strings do some line or something. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love that, so I'm just gonna redo it. Yeah. I may need to start lower. So here's what I'm thinking. Something like that. And just so you know where my brain is at while I'm writing this, I'm actually not really thinking chord progression too much, which sounds crazy, because if I would be thinking chord progression if I'm doing like harmonic changes moving throughout with the voices. I would definitely be thinking the harmonic progression at that point. But in this situation, because I'm doing a lot of inner notes, I'm sort of just using my ear to walk it. Right, and see, I ran into an issue there. Right, that second chord is a B minor. That actually works quite nicely. That last chord should theoretically change to an E. So if we look at it, so this is over our E chord, this is over our B minor chord, this is over our C chord, this is a suspension resolving, and then the D is technically the seventh of that. So if we wanted to go up to the E, we certainly could. And then all of my expression or modulation is technically written in because I just played that. I literally am just playing it musically while I'm doing it. So I'm going to duplicate this into the second violins as well. Yep. That transition sucks. This transition, right? I played it poorly. I think it's because I didn't really know. So I'm just doing a little bit more of dynamics here. Because I didn't really know what note I was going to. I wasn't fully confident. And even my velocities aren't great. So I'm just taking all my velocities, bringing them up. And the same change that I just made there, I'm going to go ahead and make to this one too. So duplicate that there. And then, yep, for the violas, generally at this point, I would probably just put the violas on the third of the chord. So it's going to be G, D, E, F sharp. Yep, let's do that. Sorry, I don't know why I turned this to an E. That's definitely, it only goes to E when it resolves at the end, and it's not resolving right now. Something like that. Yep. And then I'll go ahead and probably put the basses on the root of the chord. Just do a big fat. Okay, so I was doing some passing tones and stuff in there, and I didn't really like it, and I also didn't like how unaggressive these basses were, so I'm gonna have to really slap them. Yep, and that's sort of working. I'm gonna go ahead and quantize that because I do have my negative track delays already integrated into this template, so I can quantize when I need to. And then this, I'm going to take this bass part, move it up a fifth, so that I have my cello part. Pretty straightforward on that. Yep, that's correct. So then these two together, too low of an octave for that. That one's not. This one is slightly tricky. So in this situation, I might just start it on the root. Yeah, that's not the worst. I do want this to be more legato between the cello though. And then what I'll do here is copy the bass part, put it into the tuba here real quick, the tuba legato, and take the cello part, copy it and put it into the bass trombones. And this way I think I can actually get that true, that B. Or sorry, not the B. Yeah, no, the B, right? Yeah, the B. Now those are very, very loud and very aggressive, so I'm just going to bring those down a little bit because brass are loud. So going to bring the modulation on them a little bit down. And I think I want the French horns doing some really epic thing, but I think that'll come in the latter half. So what are we going to do with the woodwinds? I think the flute can probably double that violin melody right now for just general general good part writing. So it's going to right there. Is that where it is? Yep. So let me just bring that there. But obviously, let's bring it down an octave. And let's bring the velocity up a little bit for flute. I think flute's gonna have to work a little bit harder. Less of that airy sound. Yeah. So let's, and then I'm going to duplicate this one more time. So we'll just, this will be our last like little section here probably. And then, so from here, you see how, if you'll notice, there's a lot of copying and pasting of parts at times. I don't necessarily always want to copy and paste it, but if I've already played it in once and I'm moving quickly, I can just copy and paste it for like ease of access and ease of use. If I was getting really detailed in this, I would probably think about where is the best spots of the flute if I was getting really technical and needed a real flute player to play it. But I also might just like do things like, well, what if I just, and we can actually do this right now, what if I take out all of those passing notes, right? So now there's going to be mild dissonances in there, which actually might work out better for our flute part. Same thing with, so let's go to, for example, the viola part, right? So the viola is going to sit in a kind of a similar spot as the clarinet here, I think. So let's take the clarinet, not the solo clarinet, but the A3 clarinet. Let's hear what this sounds like. Right. So I could do this, and I recognize that it's G, D, E, F sharp. So G, D, E, F sharp. But what if I add passing notes to this one and hope they don't conflict with the other stuff, basically? So G, D, E, F sharp. So let's just do that. Already liked it. So what I'm thinking there, if you want to listen to this part, it's subtle, and it's really subtle in where it sits, but this clarinet part almost doubled the viola, and then it went and did its own thing. So I had it jump the octave to the D with this C here instead, and then F sharp to E, but then right here, we don't go to the F sharp, we go to the D, which is the root of the chord, and we go to the A instead. So together, let's listen to the viola and the clarinet. And this is really like why knowing your chords is going to help you so much. You really need to be able to spell chords without thinking about it on the spot, and know like what chord tone can I put here that's not going to conflict, and can I add a 7, or what kind of 7, and isn't that really interesting how things are now kinetic and moving, and just overall more interesting than just whatever the viola was doing, which is just like one held long note. You know what I mean? So we've got our cello, we got our basses, we got all that. We're not doing too much with horns and whatnot. So I think what I want to do is do more of that after. So I think we have a good basis here. So we've got our bass and our cello and all of this stuff. So I'm going to just duplicate this. Probably, we can just probably go ahead and duplicate this for now. It's not liking me doing that. I don't mind quantizing this first note right on the money and then just cutting it. So do that, duplicate that. I probably don't necessarily want to duplicate the melody, but I'll do it and then adjust accordingly from there. I'll probably have it go up instead of down after that. So gonna do the same thing. Oh, let's just copy this entire idea to the violin ones. And then anything else that's moving here. So this can go here, this can go here. Duplicate that, duplicate that. We've got our clarinets. Don't love that, but quantize the first note so I can chop and edit easier. You don't necessarily always want that, right? Like I should be clear that I'm working quickly here. Realistically, this is just for copy and paste purposes, so it's a little bit easier, but realistically, that's probably a little bit better. Having this note extend past that a little bit and like bringing that out and then gluing those together, and you could theoretically do the same thing. Some of that's not going to be really, really super noticeable, and some of it is, and you're going to have to adjust accordingly because legatos always have to be adjusted accordingly. So now on this latter half, let's just duplicate that, same deal. On the latter half, let's see if we can get, here's what I'm thinking. Sorry, I'm scrolling up and down a lot. The piano, what if I can take this last piano part, and what if I can copy that into a harp? That's an okay harp. I kind of personally like this harp a lot. That's a pretty hybridy harp sound. This is Happy from Sonyu's score, and I really like it. The other one would be East West. This I actually think is the right timbre for what we're looking for. So I'm gonna bring this up an octave. And I'm actually going to bring up the velocities on these two because I think it needs to be a little bit more bitey or a little bit more aggressive. Yeah. This is a little bit of lazy writing, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like pretty lazy. And I could probably, do I want to do it differently? Do I want to, let me just try it real quick. I can always copy and paste after, but let me just try to make this slightly different. So if I just sit up on the top I just do 16th notes. And then here, you'll notice that this actually doesn't reset when it's supposed to, because I messed it up. That's the reason. But it also doesn't reset because I didn't do like 8th notes or whatever. And so theoretically, I can just copy and paste that. Oh, copy, paste that here. Where is that pasting to? What is happening? Take all this, copy this, paste it here. Yeah, and then paste it here. And then right here is where the next musical phrase starts. So I can just have it stop right there. So then the next chord is a B minor. Just copy and paste that basically. And we'll see. We'll see how this works out. Sometimes you're experimenting and things don't turn out the way that you want, but it might work out. It might work out okay. So that's the B minor. And then we're going to go to the C major. Again, step input. All right, cut off that last one so I can actually just duplicate it. And there's going to be, what's going to happen here, you'll see once I put these two together, is it's actually, technically it is phasing is what's going to happen. It's not going to be phasing in terms of like the audio term of phasing, but it's musical phasing, because this arpeggio is going to intermingle and move in and out of the other arpeggio, not at the same consistent rate. And so it's going to be phasing it. And so the harmonies you get between them, the intervallic relationships, like note per note, is actually going to be different throughout, which does create interest and motion and stuff like that. I'm going to do that again. Copy this whole thing, put it right here, paste. And then actually, because this is the very last thing, let's just go up and do a... and a big ol' E on top. Something like that. Yeah, something like that overall is probably going to be okay. I'm going to bring the velocities overall up. Maybe do something like that. Yeah, that's working way better. That's way cooler. So you'll see, so this one, this idea resets every measure, right? This idea is resetting between the measures, and so the intervallic relationship between the two, goodness gracious, that's hard to look at. But E to E, B to G, G to B, B to G, right? The intervallic relationship between the two is changing constantly because it's a different arpeggio and it's changing at a different rate. Yeah, gotta be cool. So we've got that whole thing going now.